You don't want to struggle like they did. You watch the stress, the arguments about money, the quiet sacrifices. You promised yourself it would be different, and yet the situation is the same. Look closely at your current situation. Are you building something new or maintaining something familiar? You may not realize this, but financial behavior is often inherited, not genetically, psychologically. There is a concept called intergenerational transmission. It explains how beliefs, fears, and coping patterns are passed down without being spoken. You didn't just inherit habits, you inherited emotional responses to money. If your family feared instability, you might fear risk. If they normalized debt, you might tolerate debt. If they survived instead of scaled, you might define safety the same way. Scarcity is not just personal, it can become cultural. You grow up hearing things like, "Don't aim too high," "Be practical," "At least we have something." These sound wise, sometimes they are, but over time, they can become ceilings. You don't consciously limit yourself. You simply avoid surpassing what feels familiar. And familiarity feels safe, even if it's small. Let's confront something directly. If you outgrow your family financially, what changes? Will expectations shift? Will resentment appear? Will you feel distance? Growth is not just economic, it's relational. And sometimes you unconsciously slow down to preserve emotional equilibrium. That's not laziness, that's attachment protection. Families operate like systems. In psychology, there's a concept called homeostasis. Systems resist change. If one member shifts upward significantly, the system tries to restore balance, sometimes subtly, sometimes emotionally. So if you feel internal resistance when leveling up, ask yourself, is this fear of failure or fear of disrupting equilibrium? Patterns feel permanent because they are repeated. But repetition is not destiny. You are not obligated to reenact inherited limits. However, breaking a pattern requires discomfort. Not just financial strategy, emotional differentiation. You may need to succeed without seeking permission. And that is psychologically difficult, but necessary. If you feel stuck, look beyond income. Ask, what belief am I protecting? What ceiling feels respectful but restrictive? You don't dishonor your family by growing. You dishonor your potential by shrinking. The good news is, patterns may be inherited, but they are not permanent.